Hi, I'm Nasreen Amri, the founder of Carrorist.
And I'm Fonde Bridges, the Carrorist spokesperson.
Welcome to our Carrorist Conversations. This is episode 13, and we'll be talking about the collaboration narrative.
Yeah, absolutely. I just love just to talk about the collaboration narrative a little bit. I just love that the essence of humanity is ultimately a collaboration narrative, right? It is that conversation. And then, and the conflict narrative gets so much attention, yet just knowing that it is when we collaborate we're at our best is a great reminder, and it's a great reminder to find ways to work with one another, to get things accomplished, to get things done, right? To find ways to work together.
Yeah, and I think, humans, we desire victories, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's why there is all this buildup with the conflict narrative, which is like man versus man versus himself, because we want to win these battles. But the truth is that when we collaborate and we consciously put our energy into the knowing that we are collaborating, we're not fighting against the grain, we're going with the universe, we're going with what is already happening.
Right.
We have victories beyond what we could even fathom. So
Yeah.
definitely everything is a collaboration in motion. And just like you and I were sitting here at this table collaborating on a show,
Right.
but it sounded even like the pen that's in your hand or this paper, for
Right.
example.
All right.
You know?
I mean, I didn't make either item.
Right.
Someone put forth the effort, other people manufactured, other people created or dug it up or cut it down or whatever they had to do to get the resource turned into a viable commodity that I could purchase. It's all pretty impressive when you really think about all of what we create and how much creativity and thought goes into collaboration. So
One of the things I've been thinking about like recently in regards to the collaboration and collaboration narrative, just thinking about like internally, was I'm like, wow, I'm thinking about all the people that I've known throughout my whole life, and just in like taking these pauses to just study them and like put myself in their shoes.
Okay.
And I learned so much about myself, and I'm like, wow, I'm collaborating with them and learning about myself and growing by seeing my humanity in another.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's just a different way to think about it.
Well,
That's
how about
another
we
form of collaboration.
how about
So
we grab one of these healthy words?
okay, I'm gonna go for it.
All right. And we'll talk a little more about the collaboration narrative here in a second.
Because I'm wearing this gray color, this pink would really pop. Pink,
Oh.
gray.
I love it.
No? Generous. Generous.
That's a fun one for collaboration narrative, I think. Here, let's look at the definition just
Okay.
to be certain. All right, this is what I have. It's an adjective showing a readiness to give more of something as money or time than is strictly necessary or expected. Showing a readiness to give more of something as money or time than is strictly necessary or expected. Showing kindness toward others.
Wow, that's really in there.
Is the next one.
Wow.
Showing kindness towards others. I love
Didn't know that. I love that, but I didn't know that for sure. That's great. So showing kindness towards others is
It's
generous.
a generosity. Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Because it says here at the beginning, showing a readiness to give more of something as money or time. When you show a kindness, you are giving time. And that's the one commodity you don't get more of.
Right.
And so you're being generous with your life.
With your energy.
With your energy.
With your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So, am I going first or are you? I know you've been waiting on me again. Your patience is incredible.
I wasn't. Okay, well, I'm gonna go then. So during this, the time in which we've had to really remain in our homes
Okay.
and not be able to go out and see as many people as we'd like, or
Yes.
go to the places that, I'm like, okay, during this pandemic and the lockdown or the safer at home, whatever is going on for all of you, for us, I was thinking about things that I was grateful for, that I,
Okay.
just family, friends, so on and so forth. But I'm like, what are like some of the things that I'm grateful for in my space? And one of the things that came to me was books. I'm like, I'm really grateful that I have books, because I've been able to read a little bit more now that there's more of a pause, time to reflect. And so I've been doing some reading, and so then I'm like, okay, well, I'm sure there's some fascinating collaborations of inventors over time, like who produce, how do we get books, right?
Oh.
Okay, and then I was watching a recent news show on, I don't know if it was Netflix or the other one, Hulu, something, but they were in a time period where the printing press was just invented, and it was kind of controversial to have the printing press.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, well, the printing press, let's find out where the printing press, or who invented the printing press, because that's essentially the beginning of how we have books. So there really are like 4 inventors that revolutionize printing. So it's not just, it like an individual has been called the father of printing, okay? But really I was looking at more of a collaboration of individuals throughout time.
Okay.
Because, it's like
We all
thought
work
upon
with-
thought, right, the growth of thought. So, this guy is the father of printing, and he's a German guy, and it's from 1400 approximately.
Okay.
I don't know how-
1400. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just going to give the last name. It's Gutenberg, but I think it's
Alright.
Jonas, or
Johann?
yeah, maybe that's it. Some of these names are
Yeah, no, I
hard
think
to
you go
pronounce.
for it. I was
So
trying
anyway,
to read
so
your paper from over here.
Yeah,
so.
thanks. So he built the first printing press. So
Wow.
and then
In the 1400s.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we got the
Right.
printing press,
Yeah.
and what's really cool about that is that also the collaboration of the individuals in different countries that contributed to the development of the printing press. There were people who developed ink, woodblock printing, and people who manufactured paper. All those inventions had to come before the printing press.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And then, so then the next guy was in the 16th century, and Manituus?
Yeah.
Aldous Manituus? Okay. I'm sure everyone could look this up, but let's see. Okay, so then he invented Octavio printing, and so basically it was like the first big pieces of paper where you would fold
like
into
a newspaper.
8s. Yeah. You like a big, huge piece of paper.
Oh yeah, no,
you
yeah, I
fold
get it. Yeah, and you can fold it into 8, and that changes
Yeah.
the printing game.
Right, and then
Because I've had books printed, and
Right.
I've seen the actual. But no, I'm just saying I've seen the actual paper.
yeah,
It looks really to map out a book. You have to put it in a certain way, the way the printing presses work.
right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, so
interesting,
basically the first person it was called gathering, but the first type of binding, or to bound a book. And then we have this guy named Claude Guérimond,
Okay.
and he created like movable type, like a type of service for print. And then I'm just gonna fast forward to this guy named Gary Starkweather, who is more of a recent guy in 1977. He was the first guy who created like laser printing.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
that like, yeah,
Changed the world.
changed the world, and so like you could print stuff at home.
Yeah.
Like we kind of take it for granted now, but
I am definitely taking his work for granted.
yeah, I know.
He's the guy that allows everything to just be like, yes.
You can
let's
print
do it.
at home, right? The first
You
laser
can print everything
printer,
everywhere all the time. That's awesome.
Printers connected to PCs. I mean, I don't want to say it's outdated completely, because we read a lot now, like off of our tablets and phones and so on and so forth. But
Yeah.
still,
So just as a
Yeah.
crazy addition to this, just a
Yeah.
question. What do you think about 3D printing? Like to read through what you read through, I would think that maybe just thinking about, wow, okay, now you can actually print out 3-dimensional things.
Right.
And it started with this guy. the 1400s.
Gutenberg, yeah.
Thinking about printing something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So I thought it was fascinating to just talk about all the collaborations of humanity throughout time that came together.
Everything I like how you described it as the growth of thought.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the things I love about any idea is the notion that it can grow over time in the minds of humanity, and what does it become?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I always love watching that type of history, so that's great.
And I didn't use the word generous. I'm gonna use it real quick, but
Sure.
and I was also thinking of like the generous amount of inventors or creatives that failed over time. So all the collaboration of the failures to create the
To
printing
qualify
press.
what the success would be, right? Those failures, for lack of
all
a better
that
word,
energy put in
they qualify.
was necessary.
They remove what doesn't work. They make sure you know, and it's really huge. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I of course chose a quote, and I was joyfully surprised by who the person was and what they did, and so I'm just going to start here. They were born in July 17th, 1990.
Okay.
In Maryland, and they had a rare disease called, and I'm going to do my best, it's dysautonomic mitochondrial myopathy.
Oh, okay.
You heard of it? I'm sure.
Mhm.
I'm sure by now people have heard of it, but his mother was the first one to be ever diagnosed with it.
Oh.
He was diagnosed, he had 3 siblings, they were all diagnosed with it.
Oh.
So he is noted for being a peace advocate and a motivational speaker. He met his idol, President Carter, and Carter ended up describing him as the most extraordinary person whom he had ever known.
Wow.
Oprah said that he was one of her all-time most memorable guests. In 25 years, he made the list of the most memorable. By the age of 13, he had published 7 books, and 6 of them became bestsellers. Also released an album influenced by the books, and that didn't make it to the Billboard's Top 100, but landed at 109. So, pretty darn close. Mm-hmm. The quote, it goes like this: "Unity is strength. When there is teamwork and collaboration, wonderful things can be achieved." Mm-hmm. And it's simple, and it's easy, and it's gentle, and the person is Maddie Stepanek, and Maddie passed away at 13. So, and all 3 siblings passed away, and the mother still lives on, but the children all passed away of the illness. But in 13 years, this young person made a remarkable impact on the planet, and when I ran across the quote, it was so, it really just was such a well-written morsel, or just a heart message, if you will, just a great meal. Unity is strength. When there is teamwork and collaboration, wonderful things can be achieved. And, to that note, the collaboration narrative for me is one of my favorite things, because I get to think about, it really activates my gratitude. Mm-hmm. Because I know I'm not doing it on my own, right? So, question? Are you ready for the question?
I am, yes.
All right.
Question of the day.
All right, so, question of the day. Do you ever get sad?
Yeah, I do, actually. Occasionally I do, and it doesn't last for very long, though, so I'm grateful for that.
All right.
Because I've applied a generous amount of healthy words to my diet, my daily dose of healthy words. So
you're generous with your kindness.
Yeah, I'm generous with my kindness towards myself. Yeah. And so when sadness appears, I accept it, and I usually let the feelings flow a little bit, but not to wallow and not to go on and on about it. But I do check in and say why am I having this feeling? And but yeah, I do. How about yourself?
It's funny for me. If I get emotional in that way, in some sad way, yeah. I tend to weep.
Okay.
I think I'm a weeper, like a weeping willow. That's what I think. I think otherwise I'm probably rarely sad. Like it's kind of hard for me to land in that like gentle of a zone.
So you don't have like a scale. It would just be like
It's like all of a sudden like, oh my goodness, I hadn't thought about my grandma since, 5 years for real, and all of a sudden it'll just be everything about my grandma. I just, girl, look, I'll be in a corner. and then I get out, I come out the corner pretty quickly. Most of the time I'm trying to calm down.
Well, sadness is it's a natural human emotion, and I think with all of our feelings, it's good to acknowledge them and let them flow. But
I remember it.
But before I had my positive psychology practice, I do have to admit that I would stay in longer periods of sadness.
Okay.
That would borderline onto could go on for days.
Oh,
actually. Man. And I think in sadness is also like some people maybe don't get sad, but they would get angry, and so they're like similar vibration.
I'll admit to that. I normally have been mad about things. I'm just saying I have been far more angry and mad than I've been sad.
I'm grateful to hear that because
I'm just saying, if you're saying it's a similar vibration, I'm telling you, well then, it qualifies.
Right.
The things happened. I was not joyful at all about those. But as you know, I actually enjoy being joyful far more than I would want to be angry about anything that could happen.
Yeah, right.
Or be mad about it or sad. I really enjoy being joyful. I found it to be just an impeccable way to wear energy.
I agree. I mean, it's really fascinating because humans, we really do like, some normalcy, routine, so on and so forth. And with sadness, right, or feeling down or mad or whatever, it can be very addictive.
Yeah, a habit forming.
Right. And that's why with like Carrorism and the Carrorist mindset and going through these principles, like I practice them daily.
Right, me too.
Because like you said, you really enjoy the feeling of being joyful.
I do.
But maybe it wasn't always that way.
It wasn't. No, it was a learned in practice, and losing it throughout so many different times, so many different ways. I think. Look, I'll tell on myself. I lost it once, and it just came all out all over Facebook and everything, and all my friends and family members was calling me like, "Boy, you need to."
Anger.
I was sad. I was hurt. I was sad, and I just let it all out. And I haven't had anything quite like that since. But as an adult, it was actually shocking to me when I look back. I was like, "Oh wow, that's a very human thing to." But I love that I was able to move through it so well because of the positive psychology, and now what I do know for certain is nothing like that would ever negative influence me again. Like I don't even have I've had so much emotional growth that and expansion and acceptance of things.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the positive psychology allows you to accept that everything, including the unwanted things, are the collaboration.
Right.
The unwanted thing is what you don't want.
Right. But it's necessary. You need to it's like that is part of your journey, and you need to go through it so that you can figure out what you do want.
Yep, exactly.
Like going through so much, you're like, okay, well, I went through this. I really don't like it, and that's why I want to get to this. So I'm truly grateful to have this positive psychology practice because
makes me same here. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I enjoy the full range of emotions, and I'm glad you asked that question because I think often people, when you're talking about a positive psychology practice, they're like, so do you ever have any negative feelings? Do you ever feel sad or mad? And it's like, well, of course, yeah, I do. I'm
Hence
human.
the practice.
That's why I need it. Yeah. But after having experienced a full range of emotions, I definitely choose to feel emotions that are on a higher vibration.
Yeah.
For sure. So, well, thank you very much. That was great.
All right, well, thanks.
Wonderful collaboration.
Yeah, so be kind to yourself And everyone else,
And keep on terrorizing. Thank you.
take care.